Okay, so another important bit about functions in Go is variadic arguments, variadic functions. And what this means is that if you come from other languages, I think it's called, I'm not sure, unlimited arguments. I can't remember the exact terminology, but it's pretty much when you pass in as many arguments as you want into a function. So like we saw in the first example, in the add function we created, we were limited to only passing in 3 values, which are 2, 4, and 5. Well, in variadic functions, we can pass as many arguments as we want. So let's just take a look at the code. So in our main function, we're invoking or calling the, this should be add, not sum. We're invoking the add function, which, as you can see, we're taking in quite a lot of parameters here. Of course, with variadic functions, I can add as many as I want. So moving on to the actual variadic function. So we have a function, no receiver, identifier is add. It's going to take a variadic argument, which I'll explain in just a second, and no return type. Okay, so what is this variadic argument you're talking about? Well, it's pretty much an unlimited number of parameters. So this is going to return a list, a slice, which we're going to be looking just after this function section. So it's going to turn a list of all the arguments. So yeah, it's going to return a list containing 6, 84, 786, 12, and 8. And you denote a variadic argument by typing 3 dots in front of the parameter type, the argument type. Whenever I say parameter, I mean argument, and whenever I say argument, I mean parameters, same thing. And we're calling this slice, this list, nums. So inside the function, we have a variable, which we've used declaring it the idiomatic way. And as you remember, if we do not have an equal sign, it will set it to the blank or the 0 value of each data type. For int is 0. So we have a total variable, which is going to be equal to 0 initially. And now we have the for loop. And this for loop is very important because in this for loop, we're looping through all the parameters we've passed in. So we don't need the index, so we just avoid that using the blank identifier. What we do want is the n, which is the value. We've called it n. So we use the for in range expression. So in range of the slice, the parameter. So this is the way of unpacking all the parameters we've given our variadic function. So what it does here is first value 6. We're going to add 6 to the total. Okay, that's done. Go back. For the next value 84, add 84 to the total. So that's 90. Next value 786. Add 786 to the total. That's 76, etc. It does that until it gets to the last one, and then we're just printing total. To make this more interesting and combine the return keyword which we learnt in the previous video, instead of simply printing it, we're going to return the total. And what we're going to do here is, of course, we need to unpack it. So we're going to just call this R. And of course, if we're returning it, I nearly forgot, we have to add the return type. That's an integer, because we're unpacking integer. We're returning the total, which is an integer. And then I'm just going to do funct.println R. So if we come to our terminal and run this, we are going to see the final result. So that's how you can use variadic functions or variadic parameters. It's just unlimited parameters you can add. So we could add 6, another 6, that, as many as you want, and as you can see the new result. This loop is pretty much going through every single parameter you've given it and adding it to the total. So that's the basic of variadic functions. I think that's all you need to know about it for now. If you want to read more about it, you can go into documentation, but that's all I'm going to show you for variadic functions. Thanks for watching.